The Kentucky Wildcats are getting ready to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Going to be a real battle, an SEC grind it out type of game. Can Kentucky bounce back with a ranked top 15 win on the road? That's what we're going to talk about on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, writer over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined as always by Carson Nash. Carson, how are we feeling? We got a big day tomorrow. Looking forward to the ball game. How are the vibes? How are the vibes in the Nash house?
Yeah, vibes are pretty great right now. Other than the snow that's getting ready to come in.
I hope that just doesn't happen. I hope that they're wrong.
Yeah, I don't want to be out on a Saturday with snow everywhere. I want to be out on a Saturday with my boys and get to have a good time watching the Cats. So hopefully this subsides rather quickly. But hope everyone's having a great Friday.
Burl Brew, meet us there. That's where we'll be Saturday night for the
ball
game.
We'll get the snowplows to take us there.
Yes.
We can't get there.
We'll get a van from somewhere. This is going to be a really – this game, I think, after the loss to Georgia, y'all got to remember what we have coming up on the schedule. I mean, you play Mississippi State. I think 4 of our next 5 games are ranked, which that's frankly just SEC play now. Mississippi State, number 14, play them on the road. You then host a Texas A&M team that just won an impressive game against Oklahoma. Then you host Alabama, who looks really darn good. You go to Vandy. Then you go to Tennessee. Ain't going to be an easy stretch, ladies and gentlemen. It is not going to be easy. I mean, this to me feels like a must-win basketball game because you got to recollect the game you should have won against Georgia. So, Carson, I mean, what are your concerns for the Cats in this ball game?
Well, yeah, I mean, like we discussed yesterday, physicality is definitely going to be a question mark. We're going to need to play more physical against them. We actually average more rebounds per game than they do, but we had the same problem against Georgia too. So it really just is game by game. And so we really need to hone in on that and win the rebounding battle. I think winning the rebounding battle wins you the game there, in my opinion. Winning the rebounding and turnover battle, because they pass well. Their numbers look a lot like ours when it comes to assists and turnover ratio. So they're a well-rounded team. And so it'd be interesting to see. We're going to need to win the rebounding battle for sure. And I think that's really where it starts and ends.
Yeah, Mississippi State's offensive rating on KenPom is 17. Their defensive rating is 26. So Chris Jan's team, I mean, they call him the dentist for a reason, because he just plays suffocating defense. This to me is there's still it's a normal Chris Jan's team, but it's a little different to me. They're more offensive than I think you've seen, and that part of that is just having the best shooter in the world besides Steph Curry and Josh Hubbard. I'm not excited to watch him play basketball at all. I love watching him play when he's not playing Kentucky. Love watching him play. I'm going to have to hate him for tomorrow, and I hate to hate him because I like that guy. But, I just think this is a ball game where I think that, once again, they're generally a team that plays physical. Their rebound numbers – and to me, physicality and rebounding are one and the same. Obviously, they're different, but there's things that correlate in those two aspects of basketball. This is a game where we actually average more rebounds per game than they do, but we did the same against Georgia. We probably built that up in the non-conference slate. What's going to happen when you lace them up in SEC play? So rebounding and physicality are going to make or break this game. Did you see what Coach Pope said, Carson? He talked about in our 3 losses that we had the same problems 3 times. And
he's not wrong.
Exactly. And it's like you make those same mistakes. We've learned the recipe for losses and the recipes for wins. So we got to start doing the things that help us win top 10 games rather than the things that help us lose unranked games. So that's a big thing for me, Carson. Who's a player in particular that you think needs to play well in this game for us to win?
Yeah, and I mean, it's just I feel like I'm a broken record here because I'm going to say the same guy as I did yesterday. I think Jackson Robinson. I mean, I just think he has to be your guy on the road. He has to be the guy that hits a couple threes that settle the crowd down. Just giving you some good minutes and being a leader out there. I really want to see him assert himself as a leader. That's what I really want to see out of Robinson. Before you can have bad games, you can shoot poorly, but when you're moping around and stuff like that, that's what I don't like to see. And I would rather him assert himself as a leader, because then I think that'll allow him to reach his full potential.
I tell you this, I just am not buying it. I'm just not buying it. I just don't. I need to see it to be a believer in Jackson now. I've lost confidence in him, and I hate to say it. And we need him turned around. I'm not happy to say that. I don't want to say that. We need him to be great, but he needs to give not just the fans, but himself confidence. He needs a big game, and it would be great for it to come on the road against a top 15 team. So I'm in the kind of, hey, I'll believe it when I see it vibes to what you're saying right now. We know he's capable of doing it. Yeah, but I'd love to see him do that in this game. Would love that. So to me, I think you need Kobe to shoot the ball well. I mean, he had a game where he shot lights out against Florida. We win. He does not shoot well, and I still obviously they didn't go in, but man, he had, I think, 3 that were literally down and out. I mean, a couple, you snap your fingers and he's 5.
Again, that's where I think that and physicality kind of play back to back, right? Because if you're missing shots, if you're physical, you're probably more likely to get some offensive rebounds that allow you to get second chance opportunities.
Yeah.
And say you get an offensive rebound and you're down by 6 points, and then Kobe Brea hits the second chance 3 to cut it to 3. Now you have momentum instead of giving up a rebound and them getting 2 on the other end, and it's an 8-point game. So I think physicality is the big picture idea, and it really will propel this team to new heights in every aspect of our play.
Yeah, no, I'm with you all in on that. So I'm going to say a concern, and people might say I'm crazy, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. I know Walter Clayton and Martin from Florida are darn good. I mean, we saw they literally just took belt to behind against Tennessee, which we here on the Wildcats Today podcast told you Tennessee was overrated for weeks. I mean, I've been on that hill for weeks. Like, they just are not. Just someone please expose them. I knew that.
Zakai Ziegler plays like he's in 1920.
Yeah, he's the worst. But I mean, him, Aiden Holloway, and Wade Taylor are my 3 least favorite SEC basketball players by a wide margin. And so I can Lamont stop Hubbard? Yes or no? What do you? I mean, seriously, he Walter Clayton went berserk.
And here's my thing, and just like the Walter Clayton thing, there's no stopping a player of Hubbard's capability, right? I mean, we're talking about a kid who can come across half court and make any shot he wants to.
Yeah,
it could be fading away, it could be from the freaking rafters. I mean, it has a chance to go in. So we saw that 3 he hit, the double clutch 3 at the end of the game to tie the game before Reed made that incredible shot, but. I mean, that was a dagger. I mean, he hit a dagger. It's just we happened to hit the last dagger.
Yeah, that was speaking of which, that was a fun game.
Oh yeah,
that's why I'm worried they might owe us one. But I mean, I'm concerned a little bit about Lamont defending the Hubbard, because once again, I agree with you. You're not stopping Walter Clayton, but it's like if he scores 18, you go, I think Lamont played well defensively, because Walter Clayton's one of the best players in the SEC. But, I mean, knowing that the 2 guards and Lamont was kind of on throughout the game, both went berserk, I'm a little concerned about this because, I mean, Hubbard going for 30 could kill you. If Lamont holds him to 19, we'll take that all day. It's when he gets to the 28, 30 range that you start to go, uh-oh. So Lamont's got to slow Hubbard. That is going to be right up there for me with the rebounding and the physicality is going to be Lamont slowing Hubbard, because they really don't. They have a lot of – it's another team with some veteran guards that are pretty solid, but once again, they're not – I mean, Hubbard's their guy, and they're not a team that has elite play down low. They have solid play all around, but not elite play down low. Hubbard's their great player, and I think if you stop him or hold him 220, you're going to win this ball game. So Lamont, to me, is a massive part of this game.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And one of my big takeaways for this game is I think, and we have done a terrible job at this recently, starting fast. I think starting fast and getting the crowd out of it early will be huge for this team, because then it kind of lets the officials cool off. They're not going to blow their whistle a little too soon because the fans are all jittery and excited. So I think coming out starting fast, I'd love to come out and hit like 2 quick threes, like 6-0 immediately. Like that's the dream scenario. But you really need to get this crowd out of the game, because it's going to be rocking. I mean, it's 8:30 in Starkville. It'll be rocking.
Oh, yeah. The hump.
Yeah, the humps. But I think that's the biggest key to the game for me, other than physicality.
Yeah. I think that we have got to see this team just hit jump shots as well. We got to shoot the ball better. So this is a crazy, I did a lot of research on this. I spent hours on this recently. And what I found out was, if you don't hit jump shots, you're going to lose. It was a crazy thing. A lot of numbers went into it, but that was what I decided. And that's what I, came up with. All kidding aside, seriously. I mean, we are a team. The physicality, the rebounding don't help. And I know we sound like a broken record, but y'all that watch these games know how big of a deal it is. We have to be a broken record about it. But at the end of the day, we were terrible at physicality-wise and rebounding-wise. It's fun, but we hit our shots. If you hit your shots, you're always going to give yourself a chance. If you hit your shots and you're physical and you rebound the ball, we'll beat anybody by 20. But it's putting those things together that will make or break. So games where you're not hitting shots, you need the physicality and rebounding to keep you in it, to where, okay, we'll get hot at some point, and that's when we're going to start to take over the ball game. That is why putting those aspects together is so important for this game, for this team. And not just this game, the rest of the season. So that's what I want to see, is them put all these things together, because that's how they can beat anybody in college basketball. When they just have one of these 3 aspects, or 2 or 3, that's when they're in battles. And they had 0 of 3 against Georgia, and that's why they lost.
And that's exactly where the idea of we don't have that guy comes from, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're lacking on those, one of the aspects, right, then you're going to need a guy that takes over a game to win you that game, because you're lacking on a certain aspect. But we just don't have that. We have a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. So
we're going to need all the parts to work at the same time for us to be rolling at our best. So it's all give and take a little bit. I mean, we'll get there. It's still early. I mean, this team has only played, 17 games? How many games? Yeah.
What are we, 12-3?
15 games. Yeah. I mean,
no, we're 13-3, I think, because we won an SEC game. Let's see. No, we're 12-3. I can't.
Okay.
Read.
15 games. So, I mean, it's still early on in your season, so you have plenty of time to get this all squared away. And I would love them to right the ship on Saturday night.
Yeah. I'm just really excited about this game. I think an 8:30 tip, we're going to go get dinner. We're going to go watch the ball game. I just think everybody's going to be a fun atmosphere game at a lot of local places in Lexington and all around Kentucky. It's just a great tip off at it's going to be a great environment to, for at the hump. Fergie said it best. Was it Fergie or was it?
No, yeah. Fergie, my humps.
Yeah. So this is going to be a fun one, Carson. I'm fired up for this game. I think it's going to be, I said it yesterday when we talked about the issues. I haven't decided if I'm going to pick us to win or not, because I feel like this is going to be, we play up to competition and we play down to competition. That's been a trend all year. That we have 3 top 10 wins and 3 unranked losses. So we're going to show up tomorrow, and sorry for cussing, but Mark Pope's going to light a fire under their ass this week because of that loss. So I think that they're going to show up tomorrow. I do. And I don't know if that leads to a win at the hump against a darn good Mississippi State team with a great star player in Hubbard. But I think that we are capable of winning this game if the right Kentucky team shows up.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And based off of stats alone, I mean, Mississippi State has a hard time beating the Kentucky Wildcats, especially at home. They haven't beat us there since January 15th, 2008. And Billy Clyde was our coach. Yeah, it's been a long time. Cal never lost.
Really?
Cal never lost at Mississippi State.
I didn't know that.
We lost to him in the SEC tournament with Dante, and I think maybe at home, but we've never lost to him there with Cal, which is absolutely absurd.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
They're a consistently good basketball team. You know what I mean? They're consistently good. I mean, never really elite, but they're always good. So that surprises me, to be frank. They do not turn the ball over a ton. They're right at 9.6 per game. Like I said, 39.3 rebounds per game. So they're right around us in that metric. They score about 83.5 points per game. So they're one of those teams that they score a lot and they defend well. So this is going to be a battle, a start to finish battle for this team. So Carson, do you got a score? Well, I got to go first. You went first against Georgia. I got to go first. So my score prediction, I think I want to pick Kentucky, but we tend to win when I pick against us. That's happened all year. I'm going to take Mississippi State. I think this is going to be an instant classic thriller. I think we're going to lose this game 83-81. And I think our MVP, despite the loss, I think that Amari's been doing better things each game. I think that he's going to have a better game rebounding. I think he's going to give you a double-double, score about 12, 14 points, and give you 10 boards, a couple blocks, a couple assists, and have a good game for the Cats. So that's my prediction. Carson, what do you got?
Yeah. Well, I wore this shirt for a reason on this podcast. Mississippi State struggles to do that. They can't beat us. So I'm going to pick the Cats. I don't think they can beat us. I'm going to do 82-75. It's going to be a close game. And I think every big game, and especially last time we were at Burl Brew, Andrew Carr, he's going to be that guy. He's going to be that guy in Starkville. So look for Andrew Carr to continue the big game success.
Would love that. I liked his post-game comments the other day.
Yeah.
I think he's fired up, and I think this team's fired up. So, All right, we are so close to 2,000. Let me check where we are. Okay, we are at the time of this recording, we are at 1,973. So that means we are 27 away from 2,000. Keep hitting that subscribe button. We really, really appreciate y'all. We're getting close. Keep hammering it if you haven't already. That means a lot to us. Going to be a fun ball game. Like I said, we will be at the Burl Brew watching the ball game. I'm excited about it. It's going to be an elite atmosphere and created by us and probably others, but we'll be a big part of it. Going to be fun. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay safe. Oh, goodness gracious. Stay safe. I'm so dyslexic sometimes. Is that even dyslexia? Because that's out loud. Maybe whatever. Stay safe. Thank you.
Andrew, one last little
one more thing.
Okay, so we went and saw Nosferatu last night. What's the movie rating? What did it get? What?
Oh man. Sprites made it hard to kind of comprehend it all. I'm gonna go 8.1.
Okay. That's a fair. See, I was more into the movie. I say 8.6 based on the whole plot and everything. But I think it's pretty good.
The plot? Got it.
Yeah.
Plot was great. No kidding. It was a good movie. It was a good time. We were at Lex Live. It was a fun. I'm glad we went there. And we'll be coming back for sure. That place was a lot of fun. That is going to do it. Like I said, everybody stay safe, stay warm in this snow. Don't drive unless you need to. And if you need some ice cream or something, I like to drive for things like that. That's the only reason to go drive. Not like emergencies, just like oven pizzas and ice cream. Only 2 reasons to leave the house. That's my rule I live by. Everybody stay safe. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Enjoy this ball game, and we will see y'all next week on the Wildcats Today podcast.